Starting off this hour is David in Boise, Idaho. Hi, David. How are you?
Hey, fellas. How y'all doing?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
So my question comes, I'm looking for some advice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in this 8-year beautiful relationship with the woman of my dreams, and she's very much the free spirit, and I'm very much the nerd. And I'm trying to reel all of that in. I've got the bug for getting debt-free. I think we accumulated probably about $60,000 in debt. We both, I think we're bringing about $10,000 a month. But she's an in-the-moment person. So, and I'm trying to, she wants me to do it first, and then she'll jump on board once she sees me start tackling it. And then she said she will join me. But I'm finding that very frustrating in the sense that she'll blow through some paychecks, and then I'm dipping more into my budget than I need to be doing. So I guess my question would be, how do I mean, is that possible? Because I find it's just frustrating, and it's causing more fights than anything.
How old are you?
We're both 38.
Okay. All right. Well, let me first, let's reset the stage. There's not a we. You're not married.
Right.
You're having an argument with your roommate about how your roommate handles money. And that is a relational problem, but it's also a financial problem, because it's very, very difficult to pretend like you're married financially when you're not, because the whole dynamic has shifted, because there's all the legalities involved. There's no incentives involved. You're still just shacking up, and you're 38 years old. And so you're really gonna struggle trying to pull this together and act like it's marriage when it's not. I'll just tell you from 30 years of coaching people, that's the truth. And I'm not trying to pick on you or tell you you're doing something wrong. I'm just telling you it's a very difficult dynamic to pull off. So what I would do is 8 years is, you're asking us what we would do. Here's what we would do. Here's what we tell you to do. If you're my son, I've got a daughter your age. If you were my son, I would say, here's the thing to do. 8 years, long enough, time to paint or get off the ladder. You need to decide whether this is real, whether it's going to go forward or not. We're not just shacking up for sex now. This is a real thing. And so we got to make a call here. That's what I would tell my son if he asked me. And he was your age. And so you're going to struggle to prosper relationally until you make that call, and you're going to struggle to prosper financially and with the arithmetic while you're trying to make that call, because she's legally got a set of responsibilities. You legally have a set of responsibilities, and they legally are not combined. The law, all of the people you do business with, everyone recognizes you only as two individuals instead of one household unit. And yet you use the words we, like your income is somehow combined. It is not. You have zero legal access to each other's income at this stage of the game. So that's what I would tell you to do, number one. Number two, then, is as a part of that process, get some good pre-marriage counseling and start to work on these differences in your identities and in the way you're approaching money. There's nothing wrong with one of you being a free spirit and one of you being the nerd. As a matter of fact, that's most couples that have successful marriages. They learn to navigate all of that. But when we as a husband and wife have a vision for the future, and we are committing to becoming and staying debt-free so that we can travel the world, buy nice cars, be unbelievably generous, and retire with dignity, change our family tree, then we need to stick to the plan that we both agreed to. But there's not a we right now.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to something you said, David. Dave gave you the fatherly advice. I'm going to be your big brother for a moment. You said that her response to this was, well, I want to see you do it, see you live out the baby steps, and then I'll get on board. So my quick question, I got a couple things here. Are you living it out? Are you attempting to do it with your paycheck?
Yes.
And so she's seen you do it. She's seen you do it for how long?
I've been going steady for about 6 months.
Okay, so for 6 months.
Knocking out some debt.
Right, so she's seen you do it for 6 months, and she's still on the sidelines. As your older brother for just this call, I have some real concerns here, because the woman of your dreams could be the woman of your nightmares if she doesn't get on board here. And I appreciate what Dave is saying, but I got to tell you, I would be having a serious conversation before you decide to get married, even before you go into premarital counseling. And I think it comes down to this. I think you got to stop trying to convince her, and I think you got to harness her dreams in this conversation and cast some vision. And it's a simple construct. Hey, here's the problem in the way that you're living with your money. This is what it's going to lead to. This is what it's gotten you to. Here's the solution, this process I've learned over here. And if we do this, it's going to give us financial peace, and then our dreams can be bigger than ever, and we can do this. Dave, I got to tell you, I want to know if she's going to catch this vision before they even get serious about marriage, because that really concerns me because of the rate of divorce. You know, if she can't get on board with this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In pre-marriage counseling,
yeah,
or some other way, you've got to get on the same page, or this is going to end poorly. Because,
really
by the
bad.
way, it's going to end poorly anyway.
That's right.
If we don't fix this, it's just going to be an ugly breakup.
That's correct.
You know, and now we're going to be fighting over who gets the mustard because we got confused about where the condiments in the refrigerator came from. You know, I mean, mayonnaise is mine, dadgummit. And so, you know, I mean, that's how you fight with your roommate.
Yeah.
But you don't end up fighting with your spouse that way.
That's right.
It's a different fight with your spouse. So, yeah, you guys need to be going, okay, where do we want to go financially with our lives, and what is the best route to get there? Not, I'm your daddy and you need to behave.
Yeah.
Not, you have to prove it to me because I don't think you can do it, and I think this is unrealistic, and I think you're going to fall off the wagon, and then I'm going to have an excuse to not follow through. Instead, look at it and go, as a couple, where do we want to be in 40 years, and what are our steps to get there? I did pick 40 years, not so randomly. Yesterday was my 40th anniversary.
If you haven't seen the picture, go to Dave's Instagram account. It is,
she's
first of all,
stunningly beautiful.
she's absolutely
She's a beautiful woman now, but I mean, wow.
And the amount of hair you had, plus the ascot.
I was
is
a pretty
worth-
good salesman. I'm just saying. That's all. I'm just saying. And so, yeah, but I mean, can you imagine all the stuff we've been through? Two hillbillies fighting for 40 years. Oh my God, brutal. This is the Ramsey Show.